enough.
Okay, we are live. Yay. Welcome, welcome. And today, my dear friend, colleague, guide, Katie Moses, a transformational expert, is joining us today for a conversation about tapping into the magic of future you. And she recently did a live training. We put the replay for it in the posts, and we'd love for you to watch that. But we're just going to have a conversation about the process and how just an amazing tool it is. And I was able to join in on the call, and so you get to hear my experience of it as well. So, but we just want to introduce Katie and what you do and what brought you to Future You.
Thank you so much, Padma. I love being here in your community. I work with women and men who are in a place where they've done amazing things in their lives, right? So they've achieved big milestones, had great success, and they're in a place now where they're feeling a little bit stuck. They're feeling like there's got to be more to life and that they're meant for more. And they're probably in a place of feeling a little bit of funk because it's like life has served them well from an outside perspective for a long time. But then they're feeling that disconnect inside and just like, ooh, and they may have had like a big life thing come up, maybe a death in the family or a friend, something that kind of caused them to pause and be like, what am I here for? What's this all about? So that's why I love working with and helping and supporting them and helping them get back to that true self that they probably were when they were a child that needs a little help coming back and given some permission, given some encouragement and some real beautiful support to grow as that core true self. And to speak to your question specifically about Future You, I find it's a really great tool because so often in any moment, we are just really convinced that where we are now is where we are going to be. It's hard to think what's my 5-year, 10-year plan from now. It's like probably going to look a lot like this, right? And Future You gives you this ability to immediately get out of your head and get out of your attachments to things needing to stay the way they are, needing to stay like safe and small and predictable, and helping you just leap into the space of possibility, to a space where you can feel alive, where you can feel lit up, where you can feel joy, where you can prioritize yourself and your self-care. And like the work you do, like I see that like the way you support people as also another way to like get people like Future You. All of our Future Yous would be working with you because that is the type of priority we take for ourselves and our health and our body.
Yeah, lovely. I love that. One thing that I really liked that you said, and this was part of the Future You, is that the childlike, or the way we felt as a child. And I guess the way that I felt it in my body was not the part of me that just wants to play and run around, but the part of me that was really confident and creative, and I had a wild imagination, and the world was so open and available and malleable. Like there was so much possibility. And and I love that. And I loved going back into that space and feeling into, oh yeah, what is it if I could put that lens back on, of feeling that way, of feeling like the world is magical, and that it really is, that we can really create in this playground any way we want. And I also really liked what you said just about we'll talk about that in a minute, but just the way of moving towards kind of out of the mental checklist of what we think we should do and the safety, or, I want to make this much money. It's more, what is it really that we want? How do we
Yeah.
feel? How do we want to be in the world? How, again, not just safety in a sense of having money or things to keep us safe, but safety in that knowing that who we are and having that sense of, I know who I am. I know what my needs are. I know how to show up. I'm happy. I feel fulfilled. I feel not complete, but whole.
Yeah.
Whole.
Yeah. That's so beautiful. And when you were sharing that, Padma, I just got chills, like, especially when you're speaking to that childlike magic. And you said 3 words in there that are like, you said a lot of beautiful things, but 3 words especially. You said feeling calm, confident, and like everything was available. And like, those are 3 things that so many of us in this today moment don't have access to. We don't have access to calm at any moments. And then that confidence, because our brain is busy thinking about it, and availability. Like, we think, oh, I can't do that. Someone else can do that. Someone else can have that. Someone else can experience that. Someone else can have that level of artistry and speak up the way they do because that's them. It's not available to me. So those 3 things, like, when you can tap into that future you, reconnect with that inner child, it's just like, it's like that. I feel like it's a huge key to enlivening your existence, because then so many stories are told to us, are passed to us through our families, through our friends, through society, about why we have to stay small and safe and fit within a certain way of living, to stay small and keep everybody in line. And it's like, it's just such a wasted opportunity. It's like, if we could all just like shed that belief about needing to stay small and safe and stay in line, toe the party line, whatever that party is, it's like, the more this world, I feel like, would experience immediate peace and like you said, that wholeness, that contentment, because then we're not feeling a sense of lack. We're not feeling a sense of not enough. We can connect better with others. We can create community more beautifully. And all those things that we truly desire as humans just comes to us because it's already available to us. We just kind of create walls and things to keep us safe.
Yeah, we do. Absolutely. And I do. Yeah, it's interesting. I have a teenager, and so the testing is now a conversation, right? In college. And it's similar, just in that, we kind of teach kids what's important, right? Reading, math, science, like those are important. We do. And then we forget the other skills like relationships, your body, your health,
Yeah.
how to communicate, how to navigate your own emotions, right? Things like that, that are really, really important skills. But I think it's important just that our future is often, like you said, defined by our society and defined by others. And what do we do when we take that childlike kind of, entrepreneur is not necessarily part of our societal future plan, right? There's no 401k, there's no health insurance, it's not part of the vision.
No.
But many creative people are entrepreneurial, right? That's part of that, I think, leap of what do you really want to create? Like, do you want to create in somebody else's business, or do you want to create maybe even collaboratively? Like, what is it that you want to build? What do you want to see show up in the world? And that is a really interesting just question for all of us. It's like, why is our future so overly simplified for most of us.
Yeah. And it's because, it's like what we've known to be true so far and what we've seen as examples so far serves as the template for what we expect going forward. So, in speaking to this future you experience and, what we did in the call on Wednesday, people can watch the replay, is helping to break that template, right? Helping to break any pre-existing definitions and limits that any one of us might have on our life today and going forward. Because again, like I said, the more we can drop those limits, drop those things that are keeping us small, the more we can step out into this like incredible world of creativity, collaboration, community. And the other big thing I find that this helps with is getting to the space of not being afraid to fail, because you're not even using the word fail. You're using words that are more like, I'm going to try, I'm going to experiment. You're using things like saying phrases like, let's see what happens. What's this going to do? Oh, that was interesting. Next time I'm going to this instead or in addition to, right? So it's like this, like fail even leaves the vocabulary because it's not necessary, because when you're living in this vibration of a future you who is like focused on love and your soul's calling and your highest, most deepest, beautiful vision, like it doesn't matter. Like you're just going to keep moving towards it. And you might, again, like I said, you might find these hiccups along the way or things that feel like, if you're in a fear-based space, you might feel like it's taking you off course. You might feel stalled or stuck. But when you keep coming back and checking in with that future you version of you, it's like, no, you've got this, just keep showing up, doing you, and like check in with your heart and what your heart wants to be doing. What is it you're really wanting to say and express that you're holding yourself back on? And just like, you can keep asking yourself really beautiful, empowering questions to crack through all those limits and things that are keeping you stuck. And that future you just makes a really beautiful North Star. That's just like, this is the direction I'm headed. What are more ways I can feel joy and expansion and feel lit up, and all your other values, your values around love and relationships and community and making an impact in the world. What are those things you're doing that you're feeling called to do, but right now your logical mind is like, I don't have space for that, or that's going to be silly, or someone's going to judge me, or it doesn't make sense because I spent my whole life learning how to be this. And if I start doing that instead, people are going to think I've lost my mind, So those kind of things, whenever you have those kind of little inklings, those are signs that like follow those little messages. Like as soon as you worry about people thinking you're nuts or you might be excluded, those are your signs that you've got something is on the right track.
Right. Yeah, I know we talked about that a little bit earlier, just that sometimes our decisions don't make sense, right? I made a big move across the country and it wasn't logical on many ways because I had a thriving practice and and a lot of support, and leaving that didn't really make sense logically. And a lot of people were like, are you sure? And and it hasn't really been a smooth ride, but it's also been a very fruitful, right? And that I've learned a lot about myself. I've been challenged in ways that I haven't been challenged before, just even relationships, cleaning up a lot of stuff with family, just like putting a lot of things in my own psyche kind of in a right relationship that feels more supportive, or it feels like, oh, this is the thing that I've needed to address for a very long time. So it feels cleaner. And so, yeah, I think it's important to trust. And what I loved about the future you, when we went through it, is that for my work, for my sense of the world, is that it really felt palpable in my body. Like I could feel it. You know, I'm seeing myself in the future and feeling the confidence and the knowing and the integration. It's like the integration of all that is happening in me now, that's unfolding, that I can't always see clearly, that it felt very it's like a big vision that I'm opening up to within me. And so it felt very tangible, very visceral, very like I could feel it in my emotional body, I could feel it in my physical body. I felt who I was becoming. And that was really amazing because it was a very strong felt sense. It wasn't a logical, I'm writing down my plan of what I think I want. I want to make this, I want to do this. It was just like an inner integration that felt very abundant and felt very integrated.
Yeah, that's a great point. I love that. And like you said, you can logic create a plan, and you can also do things, like look at what other people do, and even journaling, where sometimes you'll get in the flow and you can create a future idea. Beautiful, also a beautiful tool. But what I really love about this is, like you said, that felt sense is really, really deep because you're engaging all your senses, right? And you're taking the time, and also you're not having to do it on your own. There's something about when you can just relax and let someone take you through it, that it helps to, like, you can just be like, okay, I don't have to think about too much about what I'm doing. I can just like follow along and see what shows up. So that's another aspect that I really love, is that you're being guided and just like shown what it is. And that integration, like you said, it's, our mind is just one part of us, and our mind can decide one thing. But until we really get like our hearts and that gut sense really on board and all feeling it, it's like we're going to end up self-sabotaging if it's just our mind, if it's just our mind that decides. But our heart is like, oh, no, if our heart's like, I want to be a brain surgeon because it's really well respected and it pays well, right? But then our heart or our gut is like, no, you're meant to be like a concert pianist. You're meant to, create street art. You're meant, it's like you're meant to be, doing something else. It's going to end up like, you're going to get so far before it's just like, oh, this medical school stuff really, really sucks. So yeah, that integration, that feeling, and just allowing the truth that comes in too, and exploring the things that come up. It's a really nice exercise because you can get really curious. You have the space in there to get really curious about, like, why is this showing up? And for those who listened to the call, there were a couple of women who gave feedback who they said it was not quite what they expected initially going into it, and then it changed. Like they kind of used their consciousness, like their choice, to explore the vision that was showing up and saying, what is really going on here? What do I need to understand? And then the scene changed for them, like as they were doing it, and they got really beautiful insights. So I love that. That's like next level future you journeying. It's so good.
Yes. Okay, so it's actually a really good time to say, Katie had a training, and she's going to do a follow-up Q&A call today because she had made an offer for a 21-day supported group future you journey. 21 days. If you want to elaborate on what's in it, or if you want to just send them to the link, however you would like to describe it.
Yeah, I would love, definitely we'll include a link here. But so there is a Q&A that will happen in a little bit under an hour and a half today. So if you don't have time to watch the replay, I'll keep it up. I'll keep it a little bit longer. It's supposed to be down by now, but I'll keep it up a little bit longer just so people can catch up. And do you can
for a while too, just to I love Q&As.
Yes, thank you. I'll record the Q&A and I'll have that up as well. And then so what this is leading to is starting November 1st, we're going to be doing a 21-day Future You transformation deep dive. And so what it's going to take is essentially what we did on Wednesday and what you can watch in the replay of that journey into Future You. And that assimilation, like really bringing in that feeling, that felt sense of Future You in, because that feeling sense is such a huge magic. It's not, I think science is on board with it now, but the more we can feel and act as if and be in that energy, in that vibration, feeling as, acting as this version of you, this future you that is motivated by love, by what lights them up, by what feels like their purpose in this world. The more we can do that, the more it's going to become real and just like non-negotiable in who you are. So over the course of 21 days, every week we're going to do a call, help you tap into that future you self, create a beautiful plan for the week, aligned for the week. We're going to have a space for accountability, for coaching, and also within that, we're going to have a what I call a brave action lab. So a big part of this is not just feeling, but taking action as. So the more we can take action as, like, those muscles are going to get strong so much faster. It's like working out, right? We can think about being strong and fit. We can, go for walks, great. But as soon as we start like adding some weights, adding some real resistance and action, and like feeling a little bit scared as we go take action as future you, and just it feels real, that's going to give you even faster results. So that's a big thing. So the Brave Action Lab will be our online community where you can test things out. If there's like a speech you want to be doing, an offer you want to make, any like a grant you want to be writing, you can bring it to our group first just to like practice, get, start ramping up, and then you bring it out to the world. It's a place for accountability, for celebration, for feedback, whatever you need. And there's some beautiful bonuses as well. I won't go too much into it. I'll tell you that there's 2 subconscious mind support kind of reprogramming audios that you'll have access to. One is to help heal your body. It's called the Healing Vortex, just getting your mind on board for like helping you heal anything. So I think this would work really well alongside Padma's work. So if you're feeling any kind of acute illness, or starting to feel, scratchy throat this time of year, especially, this is a great thing to have. I use it for my kids, myself. It's such a great tool. And the other one is, like Padma mentioned earlier, is this calm and confident audio. So it's helping you tap back into that inner child calm and confidence. So then you're bringing it into the real world. Because when we can get our subconscious mind on board, it's like getting that heart and gut on board too, because our subconscious mind loves for us to stay safe and loves to stay with what's familiar. So the more we can tell our subconscious mind that we are safe, we're doing what we want to do, that this brave action is what we're meant for, then the more successful we'll be. So those 2 things are meant to really support you in this 21-day journey. So that's that. And well, we can throw a link in there too, right, Padma?
Yeah, I put the links in there. We'll put them in the comments as well, so you can quickly access them. But yeah, thank you so much. And I love, I'm looking forward to it. And I love just how it's set up to, because I do think that the subconscious is actually running the show, right? If we think of how our nervous system is wired and how, we can plan and plan and plan, and I wouldn't call it self-sabotage. It's more that our inner capacity isn't ready for what our mind may want. And so there is that kind of rewiring and needing of not safety by like controlling life, but safety and just like, oh, I can do this, and I know who I am, and I feel I feel connected to who I am, and I can take this step forward. And oh, look, I'm still connected to who I am. I can still breathe, and I can still think, and I can still focus, and I can take another step. And so, yeah, it's really important to have that little bit of hand holding and continual reminder, and the subconscious experiences, and just the guided work, which is also not necessarily intellectual. It really is working on a different level. So yeah, I think it's really important work. So thank you all for being here. Thank you, Katie, for sharing your gift in the world. And I invite you all to check out everything, check out all the replays, information, and sign up. And I look forward to seeing you all soon. Thank you, Katie, for being here.
Thanks so much, Padma. I appreciate you.